and we'll lock the ammo. And ooh, look here, it's shooting strangers, which means it's gonna take out my, oh no, my poor little rabbits. Welcome, Survivor. Today we're gonna have a look at rabbits and chickens running around. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna look at the SMG auto turret, the renamed auto turret, just I guess for make it clear that it's an SMG turret and not sort of like an AK-47 machine gun turret. But anyway, we're gonna have a look at how you craft it, what perks you need, and how you use it, and some thoughts about placement. If you're doing any base defenses, you definitely need to have a look at these ones. These are top tier base defenses. And along with the shotgun turrets are really good in certain situations. But let's have a look at the perks. So we go to, and of course this is under intellect, and that's important to know that if you don't do an intellect build, you should go and buy them at the traders. I don't think you can loot them, but you can definitely buy them at the traders. But if you're crafting them yourself, you need to have advanced engineering. And you can see you can craft SMG auto turrets, but it's perk level 5. It's going to take you a fair bit of skill points before you can actually get to it, but you can buy them for, I think there are a few thousand at the traders, which works as well. You can also, and if we do auto turret here, unlock them if you happen to find the SMG auto turret schematic. But once you have unlocked it, you go to your workbench, and you can see you need motion sensor, you need some forged steel, handgun parts. Again, this is the same as you make pistol and SMG, for instance. You need some oil and some scrap polymers, and you simply craft it, and it's going to take you a few minutes. It's easy if you have it unlocked. But what does it do? Well, let's have a look here at the XML. So we can see this is the block name auto turret, so we're in the correct block. And looking down slightly, I've cut out the bunch of properties because otherwise this is a really long one. It's like 2 pages or something. Important thing is you see it says only simple rotations. That is true. Apparently, if you change it as you allow advanced rotations, you will have problems with the targeting because it mentions that the targeting math will not work if it's not upright. So don't play around with that one. You can also see it requires the ammo 9mm. Important, max distance. It shoots 30 blocks, which is off 30 meters depending, which is actually quite good. Entity damage is 32 per hit with a block damage of 1, so it does very minimal damage to your base or anything around it. It does have a very small ray spread, and it does mention that it's a, I don't know, 1 meter cone with a 55% hit at 22 meters, so take that into account. If it's really far, it might be missing a lot as well. Going down a little bit, we see the burst run count, which is 15, which means that it shoots 15 before it reloads, and it shoots 1 every 0.15 seconds, so it's quite a lot per second. It does have a 2-second cooldown, which is I guess the so-called simulated reload, and you see the fall asleep time and the wake up time. That's just how fast it actually reacts to a zombie coming. But looking further down, we see something really interesting. It has a damage bonus versus head of 3, which means that it does 300% damage if it hits the head. Versus glass, wood, earth, and stone metal, not a major deal because it's only going to do 1 block damage anyway. But it's important to know if you get headshots with this one, it does a lot more damage. Of course, this also is the case for the shotgun turret. Required power 15, which is standard for the turrets, and you can see the unlock by, which is the advanced engineering and the auto turret schematic. If you want to repair it, because it might take some damage, you need some forged iron, mechanical parts, and electric parts. If you look down at the bottom, you'll see something in green. What is that? And one thing that I have been advocating for a long time since Alpha 16 is an upgrade for all these traps. Meaning, let's say we have a dart trap, allow us to shoot steel darts and not just iron darts. We have our blade trap, let me have, diamond tip blade or something that is more durable and does more damage. And it looks like they've been working a little bit on this for the auto turret, because you see an upgrade block. And it says 2 block value auto turret steel cased. And it says resource for steel 10 in order to upgrade. And I think what they have been playing around with is giving it some kind of protection such that you can put it inside a steel cage or steel case and it will be more durable, I guess. I'm not sure whether they're intending it to do more damage, because maybe that would be a mod in the future, but at least they are looking at protecting it so that you can improve it beyond just what it is right now. And that's really interesting. That's the first time I've seen them actually looking at something like this in the XML for the traps. But let's look at putting it down. So put in your hotbar, left click to turn it around, and bam, there it is, all put down. So I'm going to connect it to something. In this case, it's going to be, and let's turn on the, let's turn on this one, my generator, and you can see it's now active because it has this yellow 15 watt. And if I go into here, I can tell what's the targeting. It's going to be self, allies, strangers, or zombies. Also the ammo. And if I try to put in the AP, doesn't work. Try to put in the hollow point, doesn't work. It only takes the regular 9mm ammo, and that's important to realize. Camera preview is where it's actually aiming. You can see this is me, and this is where the camera is, and this is how you actually turn it around so that you make sure you go into this one to target it properly. Let's put it something like this, and then you escape to get out of it, and we'll lock the ammo. And ooh, look here, it's shooting strangers, which means it's gonna take out my, oh no, my poor little rabbits and my chickens. What have you done? What have you done, Gaia? Stop killing my pets. Oh well. So it will take out animals as well. So if you're lucky to have a bear or maybe a boar or deer come by, you will have nice breakfast or supper or dinner. But how does it work if you put in a zombie? So let's do that. Let's do a zombie. Let's take a bow here, and bam, 2 shots in the head. So if you remember, it did 32 damage, and 2 shots, that's 64, but it also seemed to have hit the head, but at least one of them, which is why it killed him, because Bo has, I believe, 150 hit points. What does he leave? Oh, some money. I don't mind, I'll take it. And let's do another one. Let's do a businessman. No one really likes them. They look sort of like lawyers anyway. And there he goes. And you saw down at the bottom here, I do get the experience because I have actually perked up in advanced engineering, which gives me up to 50% electric trap kills experience. It says gain 50%. They mean gain 50% experience. It doesn't say, yeah, here it says gain 35% experience. They actually just missed out the XP. But it means that for these ones, you will actually get a lot of the, see, where we bring something else in, you will get a lot of the experience. It's not the full amount as you would get yourself, but you get a lot of it anyway because, well, 50% of these ones is pretty good. Now, as you put these ones down, you have to keep in mind that it does have a, I think about a 90-degree arc that you can see here, and that's important to remember because if you put it way off to the side, you see the zombie is gonna walk outside of its where it can shoot, and well, there it did really good. It did another headshot and took off the head, which is nice. So you have to keep that in mind when you're placing it and you're aiming it, which you do again with the camera preview, because if you have zombies going out of it, they're not going to get hit, and that can be fairly a bit of a challenge sometimes when you're placing it, because if you're going to cover a really large area, you can't do that because you're going to need multiple of them as well. It's very good for at the entrances to your base, for instance, because there you have a relatively restricted area. But let's take it outside and try it against even more zombies. Okay, so let's assume we're outside of our base, which of course I am, and you have this as a choke point because obviously you're fortified around it. You know that they're going to come through around this area. So make sure you place it down, something like that. We will then hook it up. Let's get some power from over here. And then we go in and we aim it down just around this. Nice. And of course, let's make sure we give it some ammo, and we'll lock the ammo. Now you can select what you want to do. The default ones are pretty good. You don't normally want to shoot yourself or your allies, and strangers and zombies work pretty well. So I'm going to spawn in a couple of people over here, or dead people rather, and we'll see. Let's see, we're probably outside of the range right now. So let's do here. Let's bring in a cheerleader. Hey, man. Now we can actually shoot her already, so I was right within the range, and there she dies. Let's try that again. Let's bring it slightly further away then. Hey, Darlene. There she comes. And you'll see this is a really long distance, See, 30 is probably somewhere around here then. Oh yeah, there it is. It shot 2 or 3 times and it hit it, and now it kills. So even at this really long range, it's doing a really good job at killing the zombies. You can see this is a really nice area that it's covering. And even better is when you're having vultures, because everyone just hates vultures. They're really good against handling vultures, because the vultures obviously fly and they'll come in and they'll be attacking you, and it's really difficult to shoot them yourself. But if we can get him to come up here, oh, there it goes. One shot and it's dead. Let's take in a few more. There we go. A bunch of, oh, another one. And these ones, see if they come down. One is coming down here. Nope. Yep, there he is. Taking air. So if they fly down here, swoop down to take me, they will definitely be shot. If they're just flying around here, they might not necessarily get killed. Apparently it's fairly accurate when it's flying too high here. But they will eventually swoop down, and having a turret that will protect you can be really, really good. And I can actually... Oh, I think it took that one maybe. Oh, yeah, there is the last one. Let's aim it upwards. And let's do that. Let's see, it's reloading there. And there it took it out. So you can aim it up and take care of them that way. One fairly useful thing that you can actually use it for. Let me see, you have cops coming in. We have the zombie coming in here, and he sees me soon, I think. Yep, he sees me and he's going to be vomiting at me. And that's obviously a problem. You don't want to have the zombie vomiting at you. But you can stand behind a wall and go to the camera preview and use that one to actually shoot. Now he is stuck there a little bit, but I can get some nice headshots. Unfortunately, you can't actually zoom in, but you can shoot. And if you just hold the left button, it will work pretty well. You might be wasting a lot of ammo, but it's a way to be fighting even if you don't want to show yourself. And I think I still have a vulture out there. And that works equally well if you have other zombies. Let's say you have a bunch. Let's bring in these ones. And you go in and you can just mow them down. Now if you're a few people doing this, oh, this one is running. I don't think one of these one is going to be enough, but you could do it this way. You're not going to get necessarily all the experience, but it's a pretty good way if you still want to be fighting and you don't want to show yourself. And come on, hey, you don't want to show yourself and oh, this is real way too much. No, I should have had a shotgun turret maybe. Shotgun turret is better at close range. Alright, let's run away. Let's run away. Alright, so let's talk about placement. Now, placement can be really important because let's put this auto turret in the front and let's connect it here. And I'm going to show you what happens if you have them in the front, which can be, unfortunately, a bit painful. So we're going to lock the ammo here. We're going to do this. We're going to spawn in the demolisher and he's going to get hit here and bam, he's going to blow up. And that's not what you want to have happen. The problem is if he shoots from the front, unfortunately, he will actually trigger the demolisher. So you might want to do something like this instead, where you have, let's see if we can get this one connected over here. Over here, I say. And we give it some ammo as well, because now it's shooting from behind. And shoot from behind, it will not be triggering the demolisher. Let's see here, and nope, no it is. Now it has the arc for it, and it will deal damage. Now it's going to take a while actually kill it. As you can see, it's out of the... Oh, he knocked him down. It's got a health of 500. So one is not necessarily going to be enough because he's got a lot of armor. And as soon as I start moving around like this, I think it risks him being triggered. Now it's going around and running around. Oh, that's good. He's going to come in here perfectly. So make sure you get them from behind. From the front, you'll be triggering him, but they're not the best against armored zombies. And this one has 60% armor rating. So they are still best against normal zombies that do not have, say, any armor at all. And, you know, it take them out in just a couple of shots, as you can see. These ones have 150 hit points, and Bam, it's knocked down, it's still alive. Third one after reloading and it's down. So like most of these ones, armored zombies are still a bit of an issue. Shotgun is even worse, but it works against a lot of the zombies, just not as good against soldiers, I think the biker and especially the demolisher. If you do want to put it in the front for your base, I would suggest doing something like this, where you aim it. Let's do this. You connect it. You need to connect it in order to properly aim it. And then you aim it a little bit higher so that it takes care of any vultures that are coming from this direction. And if I do this, and I do like this, you can see the arc is fairly good. Actually, it might even be a little bit too low here. But the aim is basically to aim it such that, yep, this is better. So that it will take care of any and all vultures that are coming in this area. But it will not be shooting in the front of special demolishers. And I think that's important, so use it as sort of as anti-air. And if you're doing PvP, it's actually pretty good against enemy players as well, because it will target them as they come closer, as long as you protect them from the player actually destroying them with rockets or something. And remember, if you have a bunch of incoming cheerleaders, there's nothing like turrets to actually protect you. Oh, actually, these turrets don't seem like they are gonna keep me alive. Ladies, don't do it. No, don't do it. No. Okay, you might need more than 4 turrets if you have 50 cheerleaders, feral ones, coming to eat you up. Well, and if you like my guides and my videos, please subscribe. It really does help me out. If I just have half the people watching this subscribe, I'll be having 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 subscribers, well, by next year sometime maybe. Have a good one. I'll see you again.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the Vedui community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.